find you've been longing for so long, and you're willing to really turn yourself inside out to not be accepted warmly in the established Jewish community, particularly because they've lived in such secrecy. It seems like both parties are afraid, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The conversos are afraid. Why are they? Let's talk about the fears on both sides.
Well, I think that the conversos have come as the legacy of secrecy has, and the fear of coming out has continued throughout the generations in their DNA, so to speak, as well. And so they come out with this sense of should we or should we not? Till today, there are many of those, of the 18 million that we talk about that are descendants of Jews, that they feel that it's not safe to come out as Jews at all. And so the ones who come out and feel that they're making the mitzvah, or that they have the strength to really come out and convert back to Judaism, and they believe that that's the way to do, they long for that embrace.
Yeah, and so they're making themselves vulnerable.
They're making themselves vulnerable. That's correct.
And they're really setting themselves up to be hurt. Yes,
and the Jewish communities in those countries, they have an upper hand.
And they're afraid. Why is the established Jewish community afraid?
It's complicated. I do touch in the film on several different possibilities. There is the one aspect of that these Jewish communities in South America have been affected strongly by the terrorist attack on the Argentinian community in 1994.
Okay, so they're very suspicious of outside people that they don't really know who they are, and what are they really intending? Are they coming under the guise of some other reason, and they're just trying to collect information about the inner workings of our community to hurt us again and bomb us again?
Exactly, and so they try to protect. Okay. And the other aspect is that these people, even though in my film all the ones who are converted, which is 5 people, they are doctors and professors. They're very well positioned in the society, but they do not make enough money, and they are, in some cases, are intermixed. Meaning that they are both Spanish and Indian blood, and so their skin might be a little darker.
Oh, I see.
So there is the racial component as well as the class component.
Okay.
And I think class plays a very big role in South America.
Because the formal Jewish community tend to be affluent?
Yes, it does.
Huh. Okay, let's have a look at clip number 2, which addresses the secrecy that the conversos conduct themselves with.
Pienso yo que lo mantuvieron escondido más de 120 años. O sea, por temor a que nadie lo sepa, a que nadie se entere, a tenerlo escondido, para vivir una vida con tranquilidad.
So it's something that's so ingrained in them. You could take the Jews out of the Inquisition, but you can't take the Inquisition out of the Jews.
Yes, somehow similar in some ways about the actual Holocaust experience later on, or I believe traumas have a long-lasting effect on the families at that time and the future generations.
Next generations.
Yes.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So, were you at all discouraged when you discovered these problems? As far as here it says a beautiful thing, people coming back to their ancient heritage, and yet there's so many obstacles. Did that discourage you?
I felt very saddened and angry, actually. I felt that I wanted to be there for these people to help them out in this longing for reuniting with a sense of self. I mean, I myself, I'm not a religious Jew, but I believe that people have to have the freedom to follow whatever religion they believe is their calling, and I felt that the Jewish communities in Ecuador, the ones that I was dealing with, and in Colombia, they were very closed in and kind of aggressive towards them, and they were demanding from them not to bring in papers, and then they would still look at the papers and they would say, no, we don't believe that these are real. We do not believe your conversion is a kosher conversion, so to speak. And something else that you have to take into consideration when you look at these people is that they were converting in the Reform conversion.
Yes.
And some people say, well, Reform is not a good conversion. But in their case, there were no conservative seminaries in Ecuador or Colombia, and the only one is in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. And for them to go to Buenos Aires to study for 2 years, it's impossible economically.
Right.
Buenos Aires, Argentina, is a much more expensive country than Ecuador and Colombia, and they would leave all their work and families, and so that would not be possible.
It's not possible.
No, not at all. And so, and they would ask, well, convert us Orthodox. No, we do not convert Orthodox. Or convert they would close the doors in their faces.
Every possible way.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the process of the conversion. There's a whole rabbinical trial, question and answer. Perhaps we could skip down to clip number 7 and talk about that rabbinical trial. And this is involving the main rabbi that's been involved with this, that's featured in your film, is Rabbi Kukerkorn.
Yes.
A very dynamic, incredible human being, in my opinion. And you'll see a little bit of that in clip number 7.
Como me crié yo. ¿Por qué seguimos hoy día? Usted ve, bueno, a pesar de toda la historia, ¿no? Las invasiones y las desgracias, hoy día Israel mismo vive problemas gravísimos que ponen inclusive cuestionan su existencia, ¿no? ¿Por qué, siendo el pueblo elegido, seguimos de esta manera?
A mi juicio, él demanda de su pueblo solamente 2 cositas. Uno, que le creamos, que tengamos la firme convicción que él tiene el control de todo. Y que seamos ejad como lo es él, que seamos uno como es él. Lo triste es que nuestro Dios es ejad y nuestro pueblo no es ejad.
Wow, what a process that these people go through in their conversion. They're really serious, aren't they?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Well, I believe that your work will educate the general public, and I believe that we have to all open our doors and be aware of the subject. Right here in America, in places where we have large Latin American communities, we have people like this that are exploring their Jewish identity, and our houses of worship, our federations, should put out the welcome mat. And it's been really quite a pleasure having you here in the studio,
Thank
Gabriela.
You. Thank you very much.
You're doing important work, and I hope you'll come back, periodically and tell us about your work. On the final outro here, I'd like to show a little clip of the mikvah ceremony. This is the immersion in the water. So, clip number 6.
Están acá para inmergirse en el tremendo mikvah, como un señal que se van a inmergir en la fe y en el destino del pueblo de Israel. Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Haolam, Sheheyanu, Vekiyemanu, Vehigianu, Lazman, Hazeh.